All right, it is now time for the Week 14 Fantasy Show. The final week of the regular season is here, and it is set up to be a good finish to the regular season with a couple interesting matchups to see who gets in that final playoff spot. Real quickly before we go over the final week of the regular
Oh, you're
season
not live in a Discord.
matchups, we will talk about what happened in Week 13. Pretty interesting week
Thank
for a
you.
couple people, and a few people's seasons ended. Starting at the top with me versus Zombie, and Zombie picks up a not huge victory for him as he was already kind of locked into the playoffs, but a big victory to keep his chances at going for that number one seed in the bye as he defeats me 120 to 102. Zombie is always my kryptonite in fantasy, and this was just once again as my team put a pretty bad week to end their season off. Now fall to 5-8 and officially out of the playoff race, unfortunately. Josh Allen just did mediocre. I traded for Allen to try to make a run at it. He had that great first week game against Cheese, but
Oh,
then after
classic.
that, back to kind of mediocre and not good enough. I needed a bigger performance. RJ Harvey had a nice game, though, with 2 touchdowns. Warren got a touchdown. Pickens did pretty decent, but Zay Flowers, just complete dog shit. Did have a touchdown, a long touchdown pass called off by the refs by a stupid offensive pass interference. That was a horrible call. So who knows if that catch earlier in the game happens, maybe he gets some points, but Lamar is looking like dog shit, and that affected Zay Flowers big time. Obviously, my lineup did not go. I was hoping to have a much stronger lineup with Kincaid and Benson both back at the start of the week. It looked like they might come back. Neither of them ended up coming back. So that obviously meant I had to start Zach Ertz, who actually had a nice game. But I also had to start Colson Loveland, who I knew wasn't going to get very many points, but I really didn't have a choice. And Brian Thomas, just a fitting end of my season with him getting 4.8 points on the final week of the season. That guy, along with Mike Evans getting hurt, are the two biggest downfalls to my season. Can't have a number one pick be a bust, and he certainly was this year, so he will not be drafted by me next year. On Zombie side, just kind of a okay week. Oddchain had a nice game. Williams had a good game on Thanksgiving to get him started. Herbert didn't do much and now picked up an injury. St. Brown got a goose egg, which was looking good for me early on, but then Zay Flowers just went and matched him with 0.6. Rashee Rice obviously had a monster game, but Zombies flexes didn't do a whole lot. Wilson came crashing back down to earth now that Harrison's back. But Zombie's kicker did get 20, which I guess is kind of the difference in this matchup. I lost by 18. That's a difference of 16 points right there with the kickers. But GG's a Zombie, big win from him, ends my season. So very disappointing season for me, not what I was expecting. Yeah, some guys did not pan out for me this year. Had to make a lot of moves because of injuries once again this year. I had guys get injured badly. I made some trades and then those guys got injured. So overall, not a very good season. At least we didn't come in last. That's the silver lining. But yeah, we always want to make the playoffs, and we didn't do that. So not a good season. Now back-to-back years of not making the playoffs. So we're gonna have to bounce back next year and have a good year. But GG's to Zombie. Anyone will make any comments on this matchup?
Unlucky Zombies team. It's really good.
Poor season from you, golfer.
Yeah, I just
That's
said that.
two now.
Yeah, I just said
Offer,
back-to-back
I
years.
expect
But
next year that
last,
you.
oh, go ahead.
I expect next year you're going to draft players that have never been on your team before. I hope we
Well,
see
I
no
mean,
repeat
I
players.
did that this year. I didn't draft players this year that were on my team last year. I drafted some rookies.
Golfer,
I
if
drafted
you
the
miss
only
the
player that
playoffs
had been
next
on my
year,
team once
oh
before
boy.
was Mike Evans,
Oh, Mike Evans.
which he will never be on my team again.
If you miss the playoffs next year, that's going to be a problem for you.
Yeah, next year is going to be a big year for me. I mean, this season went very similar to last season, honestly. The two seasons are basically the same. I mean,
Yeah,
I
three in a
draft
row. You
players,
get
they get
three in a
hurt,
row.
and then try to make trades, and then those players get hurt.
Three
It's
shitty fantasy seasons in a row just
no,
means
not
you're
three. I
a
made the
shitty fan.
playoffs. No, 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 no,
I
no,
know.
no.
I'm talking about
No.
next year.
Okay.
You better hope for a
Yeah,
bounce
well,
back
Zach,
year.
I
weren't
need
you
to
like
get the
last place
fortune of
last
not
year?
drafting
Like you
injured
bounced
players.
back.
That's a fluke, Cheese.
I need to draft
It's
players that aren't going to get
it's
hurt.
Poor fantasy management.
I
You
need,
just
you know what
can't
I
blame it on
need?
all
I
the
need
hurt
more
players.
players like George Pickens. He was my one bright spot this season. I drafted him and he stayed on my team the whole year and he produced the whole year. He and didn't get hurt. He's what I need on my team next year. I need a bunch of George Pickens
Will you be
next year.
drafting George Pickens next year?
We'll see. We'll see we'll see if the Cowboys give him a bag or what happens with that. But
Wow. So reliable.
yeah. I need a bunch of George Pickens because he was the one bright spot of the player I drafted in the middle rounds that turned out to be a baller and did not get hurt the whole season.
I'll
Meanwhile,
keep my
Mike
eye out
Evans,
for him
Marvin
next year in the draft.
Harrison, Mike Evans, fucking Brian Thomas Jr., they all either get hurt or just complete ass this season. So, you know.
Brian Thomas Jr. was a horrible
He-
pick by you.
Yeah, and a lot of people were high on him going into this season, and he just
know
did
what's
absolutely
bad?
fuck all.
You didn't even trade him either. You could have traded him so
No,
high.
I
That's
could have
bad
never
fantasy
traded him. He
management.
never had trade value. Never.
Nope.
He never had
People would
trade
have
value.
paid you. People
No,
would
no,
have
they
paid
wouldn't
you.
have. No, they
You
wouldn't.
got slaps out there.
He
You
never
got
had. He
Bill.
had one good week the whole season. He never had.
That's when you should have traded him.
He never had trade value. I was never gonna get anywhere near what I took in the first round.
All right, just don't have 3 losing seasons in a row.
Yeah. Well,
Good luck. Better luck next year,
hey,
buddy.
with all these conversations you're having right now about my team, I expect even harsher comments for your boy Ernie's team, which I didn't hear that from you last week when we talked about Ernie. So interesting.
Like I said, everybody has an off year.
Oh, okay. Ernie didn't make the playoffs last year either, so that's 3 seasons possibly in a row for him too. So, anyways, moving on then to the next matchup. Speaking of the devil, Ernie, he does though break his 9-game losing streak
Well done.
to Zach. Zach's team just completely falling off a cliff these last few weeks. 111
As
to
we
142.
predicted.
You know, there's a saying in fantasy and in football that you want to be playing your best football at the end of the season, and Zach is not doing that. His team is not playing the best going into the playoffs. Another loss
back.
for Zach. What is that now? 3 in a row? 142
back.
to
We'll be
111.
back.
So you're
Don't worry.
a third of a way there to
Hello.
Ernie's losing streak of 9 in a row. The good thing for you is if you lose a couple more, you'll be out of
Damn.
the playoffs in 2
These
weeks.
3 weeks have been so long, I can't even imagine losing 9 weeks. in a
Yeah,
row without
yeah.
winning.
Well, Ernie gets a nice strong week, 142. This matchup was kind of meaningless as Ernie already guaranteed himself last place. Zach's kind of already automatically in the playoffs just because he has a high points for, or else he would be in danger at 7-6 now. But luckily for him, he has a decent amount of points for, although it hasn't come in the last few weeks as he has been putting up shit performances. Joe Burrow, though, did look pretty decent in his first game back, so that's a decently bright spot. Chase, Brown, they all did their things. Jonathan Taylor, though, that's kind of been cooling off ever since Zach's team
Relax.
8 points and now 15 points. That's not the 20s and 30 numbers we've been seeing, so that's got to be a little bit of an issue going into the playoffs.
We'll be back.
The trade for Justin Jefferson, I mean, we've already
It's
said
been
this.
fine.
We already
I got
said this
Chase
last
Brown
week.
out of
He
that.
is 10 points at best with the quarterback situation for the Vikings, and then he didn't even get
Yikes.
that this week with 2.4 points. So that's got to be a major concern going to play. I don't know how you can be confident going into a playoff matchup.
I won't even start him.
Justin Jefferson. in
It
your
literally
lineup.
cannot get any worse.
I mean, it can. It could be 0
Like a
points.
bagel.
Yeah.
That's not happening. Justin Jefferson would quit.
The other bright spot for Zach's team, Scary Terry was back with 22 big points, had 14 targets on 7 catches, so that was a good sight to
him.
see. But between Jefferson and then your last flex spot, those are some big question marks on Zach's
Slayton
team.
is my number 1 flex.
No,
My
okay. Well,
number-
he wasn't this week because you didn't put him in there.
I know now for sure.
Oh, okay. Meanwhile, on Ernie's side, he got a good game from Drake May. Judkins had okay. Barkley just continues to be Barkley, with just being a huge disappointment. I mean, Brian Thomas has been a worse first-round pick than Barkley, but Barkley's pretty close. He has not been good, and he was taken way higher in the first round. A.J. Brown, though, did bounce off with a huge game, 10 catches, 2 touchdowns. This, if Ernie could have got more of this from A.J. Brown the whole season, maybe he wouldn't have gotten last place. But Monty got double digits. Pitts had a nice game. Schultz, so he went with 2 tight ends. They both did good. They got in double digits. Overall, pretty solid performance from Ernie, but it's a little too late from Ernie's side. But at least he breaks his 9-game losing streak and didn't lose 10 in a row. Zach, your comments after losing another game,
I
now
am
7
ready
and
to hear
6.
these.
What?
I'm ready to hear these. I'm ready to hear the comments.
Yep.
That's fine. This is going exactly how I predicted.
Okay.
Oh.
Now, I will say, when you made this trade, you did say your team is going to suck for the next few weeks. You did say that when you made the trade.
Yep.
But I'm just trying to
Now,
see your mindset of going into the playoff time, your team is not peaking in the right direction
I expect to score 135 points minimum next week.
next week. Okay.
Yes, this
So
week.
you expect to win in the final week of the regular season, have a big win, have a big performance from your players going into the playoffs.
Look, I'm just saying I'm getting 135 minimum. I really hope
Okay.
Pusa's team gets less than that. It most likely will, but people always pop off somehow. But
Okay.
my team will perform.
Okay.
Lol.
If it
That's
doesn't,
hilarious.
then are we concerned?
He's
Nope,
concerned
because we
now,
got one more
golfer.
week.
Oh,
We don't panic until the wheels fall
Golfer,
off.
he
We
just
still
lost to
have
fucking
good
Ernie.
wheels.
He's gotta be. He's gotta be.
Yeah, I mean,
My team is fine. My team is fine.
it's not
My
trending in the
team
right
is fine.
direction for Zach's team.
Okay,
His
Zach.
Taylor is cooling off.
Yep,
Taylor
let him
is
get
cool
these
enough.
Justin
shit weeks out of the
Jefferson doesn't
way.
even look
Let him get
startable
these
at this
shit weeks out of the
point.
way for the playoffs.
I mean, Chase might be shut down. I mean, their season's about to be over. I mean, why would Jamar
They
Chase go
just
out
No,
there
won
it's
a
for
not.
game.
game?
What are
Hold
you
on,
talking
it's
about?
not
Their
over.
season
They're
might be
actually
over.
I completely disagree with what you're saying. Their season is not over. Their season is just now starting.
My
They're
Bengals
2
are
games
Play
back,
back,
Buffalo.
and they play Baltimore and the Steelers. They're right
But
in
they
it.
have
and
to
I got
win
that
out.
stat.
Yeah,
but they're
and they
gonna have
got
to
Burrow
swing
back,
it.
and he looked pretty good. I think they still believe they can
Okay,
make the playoffs and win
but
that
if they
division.
lose one game, they're done.
Well,
They
yeah,
have
but
9
but they're
losses.
not done yet. They haven't
Best
lost that
sack in the
game.
league.
They haven't lost that game. That division is still winnable from the Bengals' standpoint. They haven't given up yet.
They play the Bills this week. Good
Yeah,
luck to 'em.
they got to win that game, but the Bills are beatable.
I hope so.
Buddy, what have you seen from the Bills? They don't look like a juggernaut. They're beatable.
I mean,
All right.
yeah, we'll see.
Yep. All right. Anybody else want to make any comments on this matchup before we move on?
Just a devastating loss for Zach's betting scenario
Ooh.
with Crocky.
I'm not worried about that either. We'll discuss double or nothing if needed.
Okay.
Hmm.
You know, the talk of Zach has suddenly changed. You know,
What do you mean?
in the last month and a half, I've endured a lot of shit talk regarding that bet specifically, and it
That's
has
not
bit
true.
him.
That is not
It
true.
it has bit him in the ass.
Find the
Yeah.
video.
Well,
evidence
I
of
will
that.
say when he made this trade, he didn't make this trade thinking about your bet. He made this
Yep,
trade, I guess,
I'm
for the
thinking about the
playoffs.
season, buddy.
But I don't see that trade helping him much for that either. But
Wow.
sorry, but I mean Chase Brown is
I got
good.
rid of a hurt Lemar.
Yeah, but Chase
When they made that trade, he
Jefferson
said
is like a
said
wash.
all I care about is winning Week 14. That's what he
Yeah.
said. That's what
Yeah.
he said.
and he's guaranteeing his team will put up at least 135 next week.
Yep.
Oh God. Okay. Well, we can move on.
All right. Moving on to the next matchup. Speaking of
Oh.
Cronky, we saw Cronky end Rat's season, so Zombie ended mine, and now Cronky has ended his. Unfortunate, though, for Rat, as he put up a good fight, 147.34 to 144.66. Two of the highest scoring teams on the week. They face each other, and unfortunately for Rat, he loses out by 3 fantasy points to end his season. Also very crushing because he made, I guess, a lineup decision that was not the correct one that ended up costing him. Cheese, can you please explain this lineup decision? I don't understand. What did he do wrong?
It must have been Chuba. I don't know.
Who,
I
what?
thought he was saying something like if he would have just, you were saying something like if he just started this other guy on Monday Night
But
Football.
I don't know who he's referring to. The kicker.
The kicker?
Oh,
The
so he
kicker,
was
Warwick
deciding
Dallas?
which kicker to start, and he picked
No,
up
but
Will
the kicker,
Lutz instead
no,
of.
but Borealis didn't even get enough points,
Oh, okay.
right? I don't think.
I mean, they
I
put up a
don't
lot
know.
of points.
How many points
No,
did
Borealis only had what? He had 12. Would that have been enough?
12 exactly or 12 points?
12.3. 12.3.
So that's a
12.3, so that
difference
is
of
0.7.
3.6. Add
no,
3.6.
that's no,
3.7. No, 3.7. Yeah.
no. This guy got
12.3.
9.6 and
Oh,
he got
2.7.
12.3.
2.7, yeah.
Yeah,
That's not even
2.7.
enough, is it?
Uh,
6.
2 point. Yeah, by .02 he would have won. He would have won 147.36.
I mean, I told
So
him to use that kicker.
Oh,
yeah, so that is
sorry,
what Rat
Rat.
was crying about in the chat. You always go if you're deciding on a kicker. Why would you always go with the Monday
Oh
night
boy,
guy
Fake
just to
Rat.
make just
No
to
wonder
string
you
out the
convinced him,
matchup?
I
Bart.
kind of convinced him, Golfer.
Huh?
Because he asked that in the chat Sunday night, which you said you were getting on, but you never got on. But anyway, he said that he was going to go with the Monday night kicker, and I
Yeah.
was like, really? You're going to sit Lutz? Even though deep down he should have went with the Monday night kicker. I was thinking like, fuck.
I
But
mean, if you're like in a toss-up situation where you don't know, then don't
yeah,
you just go with the Monday night guy just to string out the
he said
matchup?
he didn't want to be an asshole and make me wait.
Well, what?
Bad
He's
faith
trying to
in
be
Mitch, and
nice to
cost him
you?
his
Why the
season.
fuck would he try to be nice to you? You're the one holding
I don't
everyone
know.
hostage on 7-1 for buyouts. He should not be nice to you. Why the
Yeah.
fuck would you ever be nice to
Um,
Kroenke? That's horrible, Rat. You should have made him wait. I would have made him
Rat.
just wait just to be a dick. But
It's
yes,
unfortunate, Rat.
unfortunate for Rat. He made the wrong choice, I guess.
No wonder he's not
Here,
here this
Rat.
week.
You
Rat,
know,
let me give
this
you
is
a
why
piece of
kickers
advice.
should be banned. You know, maybe Rat will finally agree now after he
Right,
made the
Rat.
wrong
Couple
decision
pieces
on a
of
I'm
kicker.
not
advice.
banning the kickers. I'm not
I
banning
mean,
kickers.
if you
If I
banned
may,
He would've
kickers,
won,
Rat wouldn't have had
if he
that
didn't
decision and
have
made
it.
the
Can I
wrong
have
one.
my statement?
Yes, go ahead.
First, I would like to analyze my lineup. I would
Yeah.
like to
Who's
say
some,
Lamar
that
some
Jackson.
people,
fucking
some
Can
people
we
are
analyze
believing
Lamar
40
Jackson?
minutes.
Let's start at the
Simple
top,
this. Your
Kroenke.
team
Lamar
sucks.
Jackson.
Lemar is
I
hurt.
scored 147 points, and Lamar
Yes.
Jackson and Jackson
Yes.
Smith and Jigba combined for
I was
under
gonna say
10
that.
points.
Yes, Pusa, we know that, but you really think Vidal? Look at Vidal. Every other week he is ass.
You know,
Okay,
hold on.
but
I'm going to say one thing about Vidal. A lot of people this past few weeks and at the trade deadline were shitting on him, saying, "Oh, Hampton's coming back. Hampton's coming back." Well,
and
when the
Kroenke
fuck is
wanted
Hampton
him.
coming back? Because I still don't see him coming back.
Next week.
Meanwhile, Vidal runs
Next
pretty
week.
good.
Next week.
Okay, well, you better hope for Kroenke. All of us rooting against Kroenke better hope Hampton comes back next week because we gave him a
Look,
running back.
Pusa, you have a very solid team. I'm just saying, you can't act like, some of your players are boom bust. Like Williams does not score 26 points every week.
Well, he might because
He might.
I
Amon
mean,
Ra-
definitely
Amon
since
Ra-
since Dan Campbell's taken over, although he did have the 0
mean-
point game last week. But
Look, Pusa, I mean, he might. It's definitely a possibility, but you can't be like, I'm
Amon Ra's
guaranteed
hurt
at
now.
least, this
yes,
many
Amon Ra is
points.
hurt, which is big for Kroenke. Kroenke, your team is a very dangerous playoff team. I
And
would
Marge
not
got
be
a new injury.
surprised. I would not
Marge
be
got hurt again.
surprised if you make the final with this
I
team.
wouldn't be surprised either. But,
And I
But
think it's gonna be against
hold
Zombie.
on, let me finish. But I could easily also see your team bow out in the first round because your team you have a lot of boomer bust players. That's all I'm
Which
gonna say.
I would agree with, which is why I think 7-1 is a very fair offer.
That is not fair. 3.5 to 1, Kroenke. Come
Okay,
on.
then
Look, I agree with
Three and a
Golfer.
half. Three and a
think
half to 1 is fair.
Pusa-
Kroenke, it's a better deal for you than last year. You don't have to give everybody 3.5 to 1, but I think you should give the commissioner 3.5 to 1.
We will put that into
Come on.
maybe.
Yeah,
We'll
we
think about it.
can discuss, and then you can charge Rat 7 to 1 because you just
Yeah.
beat
Well,
him.
maybe we'll do ours off
Okay.
the record.
Sounds good. Sounds good. We'll talk.
Uh-huh.
All right. Anyways, anybody
I
else
think
want to?
Rat-
One final
I
statement.
do-
One final
Yes.
statement.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I would like to say that Rat, with you choosing to start Lutz just to be a nice guy, let me tell you,
Nice guys
live
finish
at home.
last.
you live at home
Oh.
and you don't have an ounce of pussy coming anywhere near you.
Oh,
So
whoa.
maybe we need to
Whoa.
maybe we need to change it up. Maybe Mr. Nice Guy doesn't get you that far
Oh
down the
my
line.
god!
Whoa.
I hope he watches this.
So maybe become the asshole.
Oh, wow.
I'm hoping next year when you show up to the draft that you come back with some good shit talk. Because this year, this is pathetic.
Wow.
Okay.
Why?
All right,
Why
let's move
did
on.
you
Some
go
people
all
don't have
personal
all that.
there? Jesus Christ! Where did that
Some
come
people
from?
don't have all
I
that.
will say, is this the
disagree
first
with
time
some
that
of
the
Pusa's
defending
statement.
champion misses the playoffs?
I disagree with some of Pusa's statement, but he was right when he was saying Fake Rat's team is ass because yikes. Better luck next year, buddy.
I mean,
No,
he scored a
'cause-
good amount, but I think Rat had a rough year like me, similarly. He had some injuries to deal with. His number one pick dropped that easy pass, which who knows if he catches that pass and he beats Ant,
This is a poor year from
who
him.
knows where he's at.
Overall, bad
It is a
fantasy
poor
No,
year.
as well.
I think he built a solid team coming out of that like really rough stretch, but he was just too deep in the hole.
Yeah.
He needed the only way he could get out was like with a poop
This
type
just
run,
proves
which
that his
is like
title-winning
no
year
room
was
for
a
error, basically.
fluke year.
Okay, a fluke year last year.
Fluke year.
I will say, I think this is the first time that the defending champion misses the playoffs in the very next season. I don't
Look,
think.
I wouldn't say fluke year because like
Geez, you
he's
made
not-
the playoffs last
Fluke
year, right?
year.
I missed my first year,
No, I'm
and
talking
then
about
I
last
think
year after you won the title.
yeah, this is my third year
And
in a row.
Zombie and Pook, I'm pretty sure they always made the playoffs the next year. I don't think they've ever missed
This
the
is my
playoffs.
third year in a row.
Zombie missed it once, but I don't think he
Did
won it the year
Pusa
before.
did Tyler? Who fucking won that?
Buddy, we're not going back to the Tyler and
said
Poose
Tyler?
age. I wasn't in the league. I don't even know about
Wow.
that. Those
All right,
don't
keep
count.
it going. Keep it
So,
going.
anyways, rough year from Rat. He's on to next season, as his team name says. Him and me have some strong. We're kind of like Michigan. We need to sit down, look in the mirror, and evaluate our programs. And we
They
are
just beat you
expected.
5 years in a row.
We are
They
expected
win one
to
game.
make the playoffs, just like Michigan's expected to make the playoffs, and they're not. So we need to sit down and evaluate, like Sharon Moore says. We got to sit down and evaluate everything, and we have to be
Oh,
better.
here we
So,
go. Here
yep.
we go.
All right, moving on to the next matchup, we saw Pook continue his hot streak. As much as it hates me to say, because I don't like Pook and I hope he misses the playoffs, it is an incredible comeback this season from Pook. He was down in the dumps. Everyone was ragging on him. It looked like he was going to get last place, and then he went on a crazy run when his back is against the wall. And God forbid if he does make it by winning one more game next week and makes it, I don't know if I'd want to play him. His team is on a hot streak, and he just keeps beating teams every week. He takes down Anth, although Anth had a horrible performance, 83.84 for Anth. 113 for Pook. He gets another victory now to 6-7. Now tied with Tyler for that last spot and Bill. So a three-way tie for that last spot. So yeah, Pook. The only, I guess, negative for Pook in his win this week is he didn't score that many points. He only scored 113 for the points for. He had an opportunity with Bill and Tyler to kind of get a little bit more bigger lead in the points for department, but he didn't score as much as he probably could
I
have.
think the issue is just the Patriots are gonna like stop trying him after in most
Well,
games.
the
They're
issue
just
is the
winning by
Patriots
so
are on
much.
bye next week, and he has
They're
to,
on
and he's in
bye,
a
and
must-win next week. But we'll get to that when we go over Week 14.
And Shakir was ass this week. Too.
But Pook, survives. He got some bad games from Diggs and Shakir, which let him down in the points for department. Also, Mooney didn't do anything. Waddle got single digits.
I mean, okay,
but his
I'll give Pook,
McPherson and his Brock Bowers showed up, and his
I mean, a
Dak.
lot of Pook's players had like
Oh.
season low games. Which is not
Yeah,
happening
which
every week.
could be good, meaning they got it out of the way. So now going forward,
And that's
maybe
not
that'll
happening
be the
every
case.
week.
On Ant's side, Patrick Mahomes bounced back with a big game, of course, against the Cowboys, and Cook had a nice game. But after that, I mean, DK continues to be ass. Etienne had a bad game. Pittman had one of his worst games of the season as the Colts are kind of falling off the map. Jawan Johnson didn't do much. Gainwell came back down to earth. Anth last week was talking all that shit about how he has the number one running back on Pittsburgh. Oh, well, look at that. Warren got another touchdown this week and had 12 points, where Gainwell only had 6. So who really is the number one running back there, Anth? He was hyping up the Mechie guy, who did hit his prop. He got the 4 catches for Anth, but only
He
got
dropped
5.
fucking 4 passes though.
Yeah, only got 5 points out of those 4 catches. And then Boswell only had 1 extra point as the Steelers looked like complete dog shit against Buffalo. So yeah, rough overall from Ant's side. He is one of those
He's
teams
not
that
out of
is
it.
falling off the cliff as well. He's in a similar situation to Zach, although the difference is he didn't really make too many moves where Zach did. His team is just injured and not performing. So not good going into the playoffs on a down note as Anth is. But he should be good enough to make it. When we look at the standings, we'll talk about that because he does have the 7 wins. He's pretty safe, although there is a scenario where he could still miss. But overall, Pook, this was a must-win for him, and he got it. So congrats to him, and now he goes into the Week 14 with a chance. Anyone want to make any comments on this matchup?
Ant, this is getting very, very ugly.
Yeah.
I wish you were more aggressive in the trade department because there is significant holes, I would say, on your team.
I mean, he did
I
make a
think,
trade, but
yeah, he did. He
he
did.
got
He did.
DK
One
But
and
trade ain't enough in this league.
I
DK and
mean,
Kamara, which
he got rid of Jefferson at the peak
I
value.
mean, he's starting fucking Mechie
no,
at
Boot got rid of
flex here.
Jefferson. Anth traded away Brees Hall for DK and Kamara, which actually that's starting to turn the other way. At the beginning, it looked like a good trade for Anth, and now it's kind of looking like
Kamara's been
not a
terrible.
good trade because Kamara's hurt and DK's not been very good, and Brees Hall has been good. So
Yeah. I think Puck has got a legitimate chance to make the playoffs. I'm not sure if we created a graph or a chart or anything like that to determine how he can make the playoffs,
I
but
mean, I'm just going to talk
just
about it. It's
from
pretty simple. So I didn't do a graph. I didn't do a PowerPoint this year, but it's pretty easy to talk about this year. There's not that many crazy scenarios.
sounds good.
So we'll go over that in a minute when we go to week 14. But all right, moving on then to the next matchup. Last week we talked about Cheese's panic meter as he was kind of falling down. Well, he bounced back in a big way
Way to
to
go,
cement
Cheese.
himself to the playoffs, defeating Tyler 127.76 to 110.92. Another rough week for Tyler as he now falls to 6-7 and like Anth and like Zach, trending in the wrong direction come playoff time. The difference is he's not at 7 wins, so he now is in great danger of missing the playoffs as he's now in a three-way tie for that final spot, which he does currently hold based off of points for, but it is getting tight as he scored another low-scoring week. You know, Brock Purdy has 17 points. God, if Tyler could just switch the weeks for Brock Purdy to have 17 points. If he would have got the 17 points last week against Anth, he would have beat Anth and would have been in. But unfortunately for him, Purdy has a horrible game last week and then comes back with 17 this week, but it was not enough to take down Cheese's team, even though Caleb Williams had a bad game, only got 9 points against the Eagles. Christian McCaffrey did good. He got a great game finally from DeAndre Swift, who looked very strong. I mean, this was the week he could have started both Chicago running backs as they both had a field day running for over 200 yards against the Eagles in that big surprising win by the Bears. Jacoby Myers had another nice game. That's kind of back-to-back games from him, so he looks like he's kind of filling in for the Brian Thomas Jr. role since he's shit. So that looks good for Cheese. Sutton got in the end zone finally, so a big bounce back game from him. Ferguson didn't do much, but he had to start Bam Knight, which was a good start considering there was no other running backs for Arizona, so he looked good. We'll see, though, continuing how that goes. Woody Marks, once again, very boom or bust player.
I think Woody Marks is going on the bench.
He's boom or bust, and some weeks he'll have good games, and other weeks...
I mean, the last month he's been busting, so...
On Tyler's side, he did get Bucky
Woody
Irving
Marks.
back, which was a good sign for Tyler as he had a nice game with 16. Kenneth Walker just does a normal Kenneth Walker game with only 10. Wandell kind of came back down to earth with only 10. Nakua had one of his worser games, got 9 targets, but only turned it into 13 points. Kelsey, though, had a nice game with a touchdown. Olave did decent. Keenan Allen just kind of continues to be mediocre down the stretch, which has kind of followed Tyler's team. And yeah, other than that, not many options on the bench either, as they were all single digits. Overall, Tyler's team, it's kind of just looking mediocre, and I don't know if it's going to be good enough to get into the playoffs at this point. He is now in a dogfight going down to the final week of the regular season. Meanwhile, Cheese punches his ticket now at 8-5, so he no longer has to worry about collapsing. And now it kind of just comes down to seeding on Cheese's side. Cheese, your comments after your big victory over
That was a
Tyler.
must-win because
Yep.
basically McCaffrey's on a bye this week. So, I guess this week will just be good to see how players I want to flex perform, so I can make my decision.
Okay.
The only issue I have going forward is the Bears might be the new Lions and just spam the run every 10 seconds,
Yeah, well, maybe you
Which
now have Sonic and Knuckles.
which could hurt Caleb if they're just spamming run. But so we'll see what quarterback I start.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, we need the win this week. This week I can relax. Just seeding. So nothing. I don't really give a
All
fuck
right.
about this week. So
I mean, no offense to you, but when I look at your lineup in a whole, it doesn't look championship caliber to me. I mean, yeah, you have
Chiefs,
McCaffrey, but
we could
I
see
just-
something very
I just
soon.
don't
Golfer,
see the
I
other
think-
studs that are gonna like put up the big point
I
games
think
to
it's-
win it, to go on a magical run.
Look,
Like you
I
did
could
2
see
years ago.
very soon, Cheese.
I think it's possible, but what would need to happen is basically a lot going right at the same time, which is possible, but
I mean, you're gonna
mean, if
need. This is
look,
what you're
if
gonna
Jacoby
need.
Myers needs to be the number
Yes,
one.
He's
you're
gonna
gonna
be
Jacksonville.
you're gonna need Jacoby Myers to keep putting up 20-point games.
Well,
You're gonna
Parker
need
Washington
both
got
Bears running backs to keep doing what they're doing and be like the old Lions running backs, where they both get 20 and you start both
Well,
of them.
Cheese beat Crocky.
And you need McCaffrey to get like 30, and then maybe you can overcome.
Well, look at my bench.
flex.
Look at my bench. I could have started Pierce, who looked great this week, so I think Pierce will be subbing in for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, but last
Yeah,
week
Ricky
you were down on
Pearsall.
Pierce.
Ricky Pearsall's been ass. I mean, Jordan Addison's
Oh,
also been
Yeah,
ass.
Jordan
so that's kind of an
Addison
ass.
does as well. I
That's
don't think
just an
you can
ass
brag
trade.
about that trade.
No one won
Ricky.
that trade. That's an ass trade.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Look,
brag.
I think I agree. We're not like in previous years. I've had very solid teams heading in. I think this year it's like an okay team, but like if things go right, it could happen. Like there's a chance. It's not impossible. But yeah,
Okay.
I would need, you know.
Well, at least you're feeling
some-
confident now. How
I
a
mean-
week of difference makes.
I'll
Last
see you in
week,
the first round, Cheese.
last week you were worried about missing, and now you feel like you
Well,
have a
if I
chance to
lost-
win it all.
If I lost this week just because of the bye situation, I probably would have missed.
I know. I'm just saying what a week of difference makes. Now you think you can win it all. Last week you were worried you were gonna miss. How crazy! How 1 week
I mean,
changes
if I
everything.
well, Tyler had a great week last week. You know.
Okay. All right. Anybody else want to make comments on this matchup? All right.
Not really.
Okay. All right. Moving on then to the final matchup of last week. We saw Slaps pick up another ugly victory. I mean, God. You know, Anth has been lucky a couple times this year with some wins, like CD dropping that pass that he should have caught and it would have been a win. Brock Purdy having a horrible game when all he needed was 12 points. Those are kind of lucky wins that come down to the wire. But Slaps has also had some very fortunate wins this year. I mean, scoring 101 points and winning a matchup versus Bill, who has been on fire. His team's been on fire lately, and then it comes crashing back down to earth at the worst possible time for Bill. Falls 91 to 101. Slaps now goes to 9-4 on the season, holding that bye spot, that top spot somehow. Don't ask me how. That he still has the
It's
top
over.
spot.
He's not getting that back.
I mean, he has a monster Week 14 matchup with Zombie now for the bye, which, you know, if he wins that one, he's getting it. So he's put himself in position to possibly get it. But he's going to have to score more than 101 points next week. But if I'm him, I'm happy because, you know, his team had a shit week, so maybe they bounce back bigger next week. On Bill's side, Bill missed a crucial opportunity this week with Slaps only scoring 101 points. If Bill gets this victory over Slaps, he's now 7-6. He would jump Tyler and Pook for that spot, where then all he would have to do is win next week. And would be in. Now he has to win next week and then also worry about the points for, which we'll talk about here in a minute. So kind of a big week for Bill to lose. He had an opportunity to kind of seize an opportunity with Tyler losing, and he didn't take it. Jackson Dart only got 13. Bill was hoping that Dart would put up like 25 to get him the victory, but he did not look great as New England dominated that game. Derrick Henry got 17, looks a little bit better these last few weeks, so that's a good thing. Gibbs kind of let Bill down with only 11 points, didn't get into the end zone. McMillan, once again, kind of just mediocre, did get a touchdown, but only got 11 points off the touchdown, only had one catch in the game. Ibuka continues to kind of struggle as that Tampa Bay offense just doesn't look like it did previous year. I mean, look at that. Look at the start of the year for Ibuka. 20, 12, 14, 20,
I mean, Baker
31. And then Baker got hurt
and
and
kind of
9,
cooked.
9, 6, and 8 the last
Next year,
3
though,
weeks.
Egbuka will be a top like, first round pick.
And George Kittle, just mediocre. He started the Dyke guy from Tennessee who got negative .1 as he fumbled the ball.
When
on
was
his
the last
only
time
catch.
a non-quarterback finished negative?
I don't know. It's been a while, but that was not good for Bill. And then the Fannin guy did okay, though, with 11. But Bill just continues to start those
That's
2 and 3
embarrassing, Bill.
tight ends. And, you know,
That's
some weeks it
embarrassing.
works for him, and then other weeks it doesn't. And he had Singletary on the bench, got him 19. Hunter Henry got him 11. So he had a few options over this Tennessee wide receiver. But, Bill and his biased Tennessee players, Bill, stop starting Tennessee players. Your team is complete dog shit. Um, on Slaps' side, it wasn't much better. Hurts had 16. Jacobs had 10. Kyron got a little banged up, but did get 13 before he went out. Devontae Adams, man, I just don't understand it. Last year I drafted Devontae Adams. I mean, he was on a horrible team. Then he got traded to a horrible team in the Jets. Just a disaster season on my team. And then, this year he gets a fresh start on the Rams, and boy, has he taken advantage of it, as he is a touchdown machine this year. Had 2 touchdowns again this week. What is that, Lau? Like 14 touchdowns on the year? 1, 2, 3, 6,
Yeah, I
8,
mean,
9, 10.
I would say it's not sustainable. But I guess it is
14
sustainable,
touchdowns. Well,
so
I mean, he's been doing it all year, though. How is it
that's
not
what I'm saying.
sustainable? He's only had 3 weeks where he hasn't scored a touchdown this year. It's incredible. And I mean, Seattle, that would be a tough matchup, but he plays Detroit and Arizona the next 2 weeks, so he could get touchdowns those weeks. So just a huge year from him. That was actually we gave Slaps a lot of shit for that trade where he traded away McBride, which it's still not a good trade for Slaps, but at least he got a good wide receiver in return with Adams. Now McBride has been outstanding from a tight end perspective. I would still rather have McBride over Adams,
Yeah, I mean,
but if it was the fact that it was Hurts and McBride for basically Adams, that's the part that kind of he loses it still, even though Adams has been great for him.
yeah, if
Debo
it
got
was,
11, which was just okay. Troy Franklin came crashing back down to earth. So
take that,
overall,
not the Broncos wide receiver one.
yeah, overall, a lot of question marks from Slaps' point of view, but he did
But
get
he's
the win.
locked for the playoffs. He is locked.
Yeah, he did get the win, which is all that matters, and now he's got a chance next week to prove all the doubters wrong and get that bye. But he's gonna have to earn it. That's the good thing about it. If he gets the bye, it will be because he earned it, because he took down Zombie's team, which I think Zombie has a big advantage of, which we'll talk about in a minute. Anybody want to make any comments on this matchup? Big loss from Bill.
Embarrassing from Bill. That's
Okay.
poor fantasy management.
Yeah, Bill will have these weeks
Again.
every so often where you kind of just scratch your head on what happened with his team.
Did he make the playoffs last year? I think he did.
Would
yeah,
he
he
have
made a
won if
great
he started
run.
Trevor Lawrence?
He made a great
Or
run
no?
to get in.
This is
Similar
this is pathetic. I think that this is the biggest sham of a team to fucking make it to a bye opportunity.
Oh, you're talking
I
about
really don't
Slaps?
think.
Okay.
Yeah, I really don't think his team's that good, to be honest with you. Does he have good players that can pop
True.
off? 100%.
Okay.
But if he doesn't get that bye, I think he's going home early.
Okay. All right.
Look, I think Slaps
Did you have a
has,
bet with
like,
Slaps? Because he does have you beat on record
Nope,
right
he
wow.
didn't
You were
want to bet.
fortunate.
Look, I just want
So,
everybody to note that Slaps has only about 16 more points scored than me all season.
Okay.
So,
I know.
like, it's
We
a,
don't
it's a
care.
And
Slaps
he's got
is
a better record than
very
you. So it
Slaps is
doesn't
a
matter.
very
It's,
solid team, but it's not Juggernaut in the first place
His
right now.
points,
Yeah.
his points against, it's just it's embarrassing.
It is
It's
very low.
it's embarrassing.
That's
Is it
why I
the
started this
lowest?
off by saying I don't think there's been a more luckier person in fantasy this year than Slaps.
But I
Because
do.
he's
I do
gotten a
think
lot of
it's-
victories like this year with luck.
Slaps, a lot. His team can pop off, and he could easily steamroll everybody.
I don't
It's
know
embarrassing.
about steamroll everybody. I think
Not steamroll, but he could easily have a really
he
good
could
week.
have a 130, 40-point week with these players, but he could also win a 100 to 90 game in the playoffs, which
I
wouldn't
mean,
surprise me
I
based on
just-
how his season's gone, that he gets that.
I just think his issue is
If he can somehow win next week versus Zombie and get the bye, that's
He needs
a
the bye.
huge thing for him, which we'll see
I
if
just
he
think
can
his
do.
issue is Jacobs has been kind of on the downturn. And
Yeah, but
so
he
is
gets a
Ky-
bunch of volume. He's always going to get the volume.
And then Kyron has been kind of splitting with Quorum now. Quorum has been
I
getting a
think
ton of
that's a stretch.
volume. Not splitting, but it's definitely
He
been
still
eating
gets
into
the
it.
touchdowns.
I mean, I just think we're gonna see where it goes because Debo, like Terry's back now, which hurts Debo. The Broncos figured out that Sutton is way better than Troy Franklin.
Surprised he benched Jawan Jennings. I don't know why
Yeah,
he
Jennings
did
has
that.
been rolling for him.
Yeah, he's been doing pretty good. I
I
don't know why he
mean,
would
I don't
bench
know.
him
Slaps kind of needs like if Devontae Adams and
for
like
Yoshi
his
Boss.
running
Like, really?
backs, if Devontae Adams and his running backs have like a mid game, he's in trouble. Like if those three guys aren't, those are like the three guys for him.
Hmm. All right. So there we have the Week 13 matchups. Looking then at the standings, and it does all come down to three final teams. Not as crazy scenarios this year as we've had in the past, as a lot of people have kind of punched their tickets in. Slaps, like we said, at the top of the standings still at 9-4. However, we do have Zombie then right on his heels at 8-5. Cronky is also 8-5. However, the one thing to note with Cronky, his points for is way behind. Well, not way behind, but about 60 points behind Zombie. So basically, for Cronky to have any shot at the bye, he has to win next week, put up 60 more points than Zombie, and have Zombie beat Slaps, even though Cronky puts up 60 more points than Zombie. So basically, he needs Zombie to beat Slaps like 90 to 80, and then Cronky score like 150 and win, and then that's how he secures the bye at 9-5 over those two. So pretty unlikely that that's going to happen, but still a slim chance. Zombie versus Slaps next week is a huge matchup, obviously, for the bye. The winner most likely gets the bye. If it's Slaps, the winner definitely gets the bye. If it's Zombie, then like we said, he just needs to beat Slaps and then not get outscored by Pusa by 60 points, assuming Pusa wins. So basically, it's winner gets the bye next week between Zombie and Slaps. Then Cheese kind of just cemented in the 4 spot. He could drop down a couple spots if he loses next week, but he's
Well,
not going to drop out of the playoffs. So he's pretty much cemented in that
I can only drop
mid-range.
as far as
You could drop
6.
as far as the 6 spot. Yeah, like I said, you could drop a couple spots, but really you're not going to gain many spots unless
Yeah, I'm
if
most likely
Zombie
gonna
and Pusa
be.
both lose next week and you win, then you can move all the way up to the 2nd spot. But you don't have a chance at the bye. Then we have
Yeah.
Zach at 7-6 and Anth at 7-6 in the 5 and 6 spot. One thing to note with Zach, even though he is only a game ahead of all the 3, 6, and 7 teams, his points for is pretty dramatically higher than everybody else by well over by 60 by Anth, by 80 from Tyler, 120 or 110 from Bill, and about 115 from Pook. So
GG, I made the
he's
playoffs.
locked in basically with that 7-win mark. Now, when you get to Anth, it gets a little bit more, still pretty safe, but let's say Anth loses next week and only puts up another 80 points, and let's say Bill and Pook both win, or let's just say Bill wins and he scores like 150 or 140 and Anth only scores another 80 like he did this week, then Bill could pass Anth at 7-7 by gaining that 60 points that he's down to Anth in points for. So, Anth's not cemented in, but assuming he has a better week than he had last week, he should make it even if he loses. Then we get into the real drama. Tyler versus Pook, so 7 versus 9. Both teams are 6-7 next week. So the winner, well, I shouldn't say the winner is in. If Tyler wins, then he could be in, but there's also a chance if he wins that he might not get in because Bill, you look at the points for between these three, Tyler has a lead, but it ain't by a lot. It's by about 40 points. So if Bill wins and outscores Tyler by about the 40 points, he would pass him at 7-7 and get that final spot. So, meanwhile, Pook has to win next week against Tyler, but then also needs to gain 5 points over Bill unless Bill would lose next week. So, a lot of things can happen between these three. Obviously, Pook is hoping that I just beat Bill, because then that would just eliminate Bill. Bill has to win next week against me. But then he's also hoping that if Bill doesn't lose, that he just outscores Bill by 5 points and he beats Tyler in his matchup. So all three of those teams with a very good possibility to make it, but they have to take care of business in their matchup, and then they also have to look at the points for it, because it is going to most likely come down to that, because one of these two, Pook and Tyler, are guaranteed to win, and then Bill versus me, he has to win. If he wins, then it really kind of, you have to look at the points for, which is pretty close. 40 points is not that much, and when you split hairs between Bill and Pook, it's a 5-point difference. So both of them could win, and then it's going to literally come down to who scores more points, because 5 points is not a lot. So very tight. Then we have the 5 and 8s. Me and Rat both eliminated because Tyler and Pook play each other. So one of them is guaranteed to win to go to 7 and 7. As we say every year, 7 wins is normally the mark to get into the playoffs in this league, and that is going to hold true again this season. So because we are at 5 and 8, we're done so. And then Ernie obviously at 3 and 10, 2 games back of me and Rat, so no chance for Ernie to catch up and get out of the last place mark as we said last week. So there we have the standings and the scenarios. Before we get into week 14 matchups, let's just take a quick poll of who do we think is getting that 7th seed spot for the playoffs between Tyler, Bill, and Pook. I'm going to say that Pook beats Tyler. Actually, wait, no, I forgot. Pook has a lot of bye issues. I'm going to say Tyler beats Pook, but I'm going to say Bill outscores Tyler by the 40 points, because I don't think Tyler's team is going to put up a lot. I think that Tyler-Pook matchup is going to be low scoring, and I think Bill's team's going to bounce back, and Bill's going to make it. I've been rooting for Bill to make it the last few weeks, so I'll continue that train, even though he's playing me this week. Cheese, who do you think is getting it?
I want Bill, but the bye, he has like 4 players on bye this week.
Oh,
So
Bill has players on bye as well?
Yeah, he has Jackson
all right, well, then
Dart,
maybe I gotta
Singletary,
change my pick to
McMillan,
Tyler.
It's
George
a bye
Kittle, Hunter
Mageddon for both
Henry.
teams.
Jesus, Pook and Bill both have a bye again this week. Man,
Oh
are they
my
handing Tyler the
God.
playoff spot? Oh my
No,
God.
Tyler also has Purdy on bye, so he has to take a quarterback.
Oh.
Unless Jaden Daniels
let
wants
me
to play.
analyze all of the.
I'm making my pick first, okay?
Yep. Who are
I
you
still think Pook pulls it off because his lineup looks solid. Dak, Brees Hall, Sharp, Waddle, Shakir, Bowers. Like, it's not a bad lineup. Mooney and Hunt in the flex.
And he
They're pretty-
outscores Bill by the 5 points?
I think Bill just
I
loses.
Oh, you
think
think Bill loses? Okay.
With the buys, he's cooked. I'm sorry.
Okay.
The buys are cooking him.
All right, so you're saying Pook
Bill
gets it.
Yeah, I think Bill
Alright.
has kind of no chance.
I think
Alright.
Pook's getting in.
Okay,
do,
you also think Pook's getting in. Okay.
I think for the storyline and narrative, I think that would be great for a guy like
Yeah,
Pook.
he
to
was
go
in the
on
cellar
this,
for quite a while this season. It would be incredible.
insane run.
Bill and Pook both have showed great fight back this season.
Do I want to play him in the playoffs?
Yeah?
Absolutely not.
Well, I hope you play him then.
No. Fuck you.
I would be
Anybody
rooting for
but
Pook.
Pook. Any one of those 3 but Pook. Please, God. We don't want Pook making the
Oh,
playoffs.
you don't want to see your kryptonite in the playoffs, huh, Zach? Oh, boy.
I don't want him to
we
complete that
don't
comeback.
want-
He has been your
All right,
kryptonite, though.
Gulliver, can we do my matchup first? 'Cause
I
have to
beat him
leave.
this year.
I'd rather play Slaps, to be honest with you. I think
Okay.
Slaps might be the worst team to make the playoffs.
All
To be 100% honest with you.
All right, interesting. One thing too, just to look at the bracket going in for seeding purposes.
I love the top
As
half
we
of the
as we
bracket.
see right now, Cronky won't be happy about this because he wants to play slaps, but right
I
now
love
he
that
wouldn't
top
be
half of the
playing
bracket.
slaps until the championship. As right now how the bracket would stand, we would have Cheese and Zach in the top half. The
Yes.
winner of that would play slaps in the semifinal, and then Zombie Tyler versus Cronky and
I
Ant
love
in the
that
bottom
top
half.
bracket.
Now, obviously, this could change heavily if
Definitely will
Zombie
change,
beats
100%.
Slaps. Then Zombie would move to the top half. Slaps would move to the bottom half. So
How many
Cronky's
points
probably
do I
hoping
need
for
to
that.
score?
What's
So the
that?
top half right now is seeds 1, 4,
It's
and
yeah,
5. 1,
it's
4,
1,
5.
4, 5.
Do I
The
have
one
to
plays the
score,
winner of
like-
4, 5. Huh?
I have to score 66 more than him. Yeah,
To get the
No,
bye?
all you need to hope for, Cronky, is that Zombie beats Slaps, and that you win, because then you would stay in the 3 spot, and then Zombie would switch with Slaps, and Slaps would come down to the bottom.
Can me
So
and
then-
Cronky play each other
So
next
then
week?
you would play Slaps potentially in the second round.
yeah,
That's
Yeah.
what you want to hope for. You don't
I
really
Can
have
would
a
me and
chance to
love-
Cronky play each other back to back?
buy.
It seems as if I win and Slaps loses.
Yeah, Zach.
That I would
If you
play
lose next week, you would probably fall to the bottom side in the 6 seed, which means
6-7.
you could if Anth wins next week and you lose, you would switch places with Anth. So you would play Cronky then if assuming he stayed in the 3 spot.
Bring it,
Oh,
bitch.
no.
I'm gonna beat you this week. Oh, that's what we're
No.
gonna double or nothing on. I'm looking
No,
forward to
Well,
that.
if you win, Zach, if you win, then you probably aren't gonna drop to the bottom side of the bracket. You're probably gonna
Maybe
stay
I'll
in the
bench
5
my
seed
team.
or 4 seed. So
You
you
Would
would
can't
have
Puka
to
drop
lose
down?
to
You have to have a
Cronky this
startable
week.
lineup. You cannot bench your team.
Yeah, you do have to start a full lineup based off what you have on your team.
Do I
Um,
want to lose? If I lose, I can drop all the way down to
But there's also a chance too. There's also a chance as well that Cronky
6.
Moves to the 2nd seed if Slaps beat Zombie and Cronky
and
wins.
Puso, yeah.
He would move to the 2nd, which would keep him in the bottom half, but it would move him to play the winner of the 7th seed because he would be the 2 seed. So a lot of still seeding purposes can happen as well as who gets that final spot. All right, looking then at Week 14, obviously there's a couple big matchups, which we'll point out. The other ones don't really matter, so we won't
Can we
spend
go
too
with
much
B
time.
first?
What's that? We're
Should I
doing
go
Cheese's lineup first because he has to go.
Yeah, I gotta leave.
Which Cheese's matchup doesn't really matter, so we're not going to spend that much time on it.
Yeah.
As we already said, Anth is basically in, assuming he puts up just a normal amount of points. However, if for some odd reason he did put up like another shit week like last week where he only scored like 80, then if Bill or Pook or Tyler, if they scored
Zombie.
like 60 some points to pass him, then he could potentially fall out, but he would have to score another really bad week. Other than that, this matchup is just for seeding purposes. It doesn't really change a whole lot, assuming they score an average amount of points. We won't really, like I said, I'm not going to go through all the players because it doesn't really matter that much. So we won't spend that much time. Right now, Sleeper does predict Ant to win 122 to 105 as Cheese doesn't have McCaffrey. He's on bye. He's putting in Alec Pierce. He has both Chicago running backs starting against Green Bay and Green Bay. That's not very good. So that's why Sleeper likes Ant to win this matchup. I will say Ant bounces back and gets the victory. We'll see if Drake London plays. That would obviously be a bonus for him if he can get him back for the playoffs. I'm going to say he gets this victory just because Cheese doesn't have McCaffrey, and without McCaffrey, it hurts Cheese's team quite a bit. Cheese, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a tough week for us. That's why I needed to win last week because I mean, I could see Ant's team maybe underperforming and we pull something out, but
Okay.
I don't think we're definitely not favored. This week for me is mainly to see what all these bums do that I had to wear on my bench so I can decide who I flex next week. So
All
we'll see
right.
if Woody
I
Marks
think,
can actually do something or if he's going to get benched in the playoffs.
Anth is going to win this. It's going to be very low scoring. I don't think either team have much of a chance to go far in the playoffs.
Okay.
However, I respect both of these league members, and I think they are very key to the general future of this entire league. So,
Okay.
I
I love
mean,
you
Ant,
both.
We did say
I
this
love
last
you
week
both.
that Anth has been a good addition to the league, and he's had a strong first season,
I
making
will
the
say
playoffs.
if
Fantastic.
just to
Has
note,
he?
if
Yeah,
Has
making the
he?
playoffs in your first season in the main league, that's a good accomplishment.
Yes,
Ant
it is. It's a resume builder.
if Ant beats me, he will overtake me in the standings and can move all the way up to 4th place.
Yeah,
Just
which
to note.
could get him in that top half,
Listen,
which if
like I
Slaps
said,
But
wins-
I would not want to
Both-
be in the top half if Zombie's in the top half.
well,
so
yeah, but if
I'm
Both
just trying to
Slaps
avoid Zombie.
respectable-
Actually, you know what? Let's have Zombie win. I'll throw.
okay.
Whoa.
I'll start Bam Knight and Hollywood Brown.
All right, Cronky, who's winning this? You said Anth.
I do think Anth is going to win. Yes.
Okay, Zach.
Anth versus.
Cheese.
Ooh. Season on the line, huh, for Anth?
Not really.
So he's in?
I said it a couple times now. The only way he misses is if he loses and he puts up like another 80 or 70 points, and
That
Bill
could
or
very well
Pook
happen.
and
I
Bill and
got
Pook score. Bill and Pook have to score like 60 more points than him.
If Cheese wins and I win, do we play each other in the playoffs? Because
If
that's what I
we,
want.
if I,
Oh.
it depends.
It
If
depends on other
if I
people's
win and like
matchups.
let's just say
All right,
Pusa
whatever.
loses hypothetically,
Whoever wins,
I could jump all the way to
make
third,
sure me and
right?
Cheese play each other. That's who I pick.
I mean, a lot could
Okay.
happen. I could finish anywhere from third to sixth.
Yeah,
So,
there's a lot of
just
other matchups
play
that
me,
will
buddy.
determine who you play, not just if you both win. All right.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Zombie, who's winning in this matchup between Cheese and Anth?
Jeez, why is your team so ass without McCaffrey?
Well, it's also not just McCaffrey. It's it's mainly just
Basically
McCaffrey.
just McCaffrey. Yeah.
Well,
There's a
Booty-
reason your
Booty.
team name is CMC and Friends because
I could have started Booty, but he's on a
Okay.
bye, and then Bam Knight. If Trey Benson is like dead, I could start Bam Knight.
Okay, buddy.
But
So-
yeah, I mean, CMC
so if,
is the glue here.
So if Cheese loses, he's still in, huh?
I'm
Yes,
locked. I'm
he's
locked.
already made it by winning last week and getting.
That's
named
all
this
I
season.
wanted. I made the playoffs.
All right, so you're losing just because you fucking are you're basically a bye week.
All right, we went over the
Yep.
scenarios for the three teams that are fighting for the last spot. When we get to those matchups, I'll reinstate them for you, Zombie, since you weren't here. All right, Cheese has to leave, so Cheese quickly.
Yes.
Me versus Bill. Obviously, it's a big one for Bill. Doesn't mean anything for
Yeah,
me,
you're
but he
taking
has.
it.
So you're saying
You're
Bill is
taking
gonna
it.
lose.
The bye.
Okay.
If you want, you'll go over the matchup. His buys are too terrible this week.
Okay. The most meaningless game of the week: Rat versus Ernie.
Ernie
Actually, the only
also-
thing this matters for is Rat is the only one this season to have not beaten Ernie one time. So if Ernie does do the buyout of the $200, everybody would get money except from Rat, unless Rat wins this week.
Rat will win. Sure. Rat will
Okay,
take
so
it.
everybody will get a piece of that money then. All right. Another one that doesn't mean a whole lot: Zach versus Cronky. Just for seeding.
I'll
See,
take.
this
I'll
does
take.
mean a lot.
I'll take.
It means a
Pusa,
lot for your
'cause
bet, I guess,
It'd
but
be funny if Zach lost.
not for.
Fuck you.
I'll take Pusa. Sorry, Pusa's team is strong this. Well,
I'm taking Anth.
I'll take Pusa.
All
Take it
right.
away, Zach.
And then the two biggest ones of the week: Tyler versus Pook. Winner.
I have
You
Puka
can't
winning
say
that.
winner is guaranteed to make it, but based off what
Winner
you're
is a
saying,
good
with
shot.
Bill losing,
I
the
think
winner
Bill's
then
cooked.
does make it. So, who makes it?
I think that Pook is taking that.
Okay, so you say Pook makes it then. All right, and then for the number one seed and bye.
That's a tough. Let me just look at the matches real quick. This is tough. I'm gonna take Slaps because Zombie has some
Wow.
bad. Because
Okay.
Zombie has some tougher matchups
All right.
personally.
All right, interesting.
Um,
All right, we will go over that. Thank you so much. All right.
I might be back later.
Okay, getting back then to the top here, the second matchup of Week 14. As we said, it doesn't mean anything besides
Can
for
I go?
Rat.
Can we do?
Huh?
I'm gonna pick. I'm just gonna pick. I gotta go.
You got to go too? Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Okay. The meaningless one between Rat and Ernie.
Let's go Rat.
Okay. Your
Lame.
matchup between Cronky and Zach for your bet.
Choose wisely.
It doesn't really matter because Zach can't
How
theoretically
many points is he down
score
to?
in that pinch. He's
How
down
much
a
does
lot.
he have to beat you by? He has to beat you by 60?
By 60.
That's not.
We're
That's
gonna
not
have an 80-point game, and you're gonna have a.
I mean,
Okay,
that's
so Golfer,
not
hold on.
out of
Hold
the
on.
possibility. We've
Then,
seen some big
It's
scores.
not out of the possibility that I can get the buy.
I'm gonna score 140 points, and you're
Yeah.
gonna score like 70.
So I could score 200 points and catch Zombie on the buy.
You ain't scoring
possibly
those 100
could.
points.
Pusa, you're not getting shit, buddy.
Okay. Moving down the list here.
So you picked
as I
yourself and you
said-
said you're going to score 200?
No.
What's your
Zombie's
official
gonna
pick?
get the bye. Zombie's gonna win.
Okay.
I'm gonna get the 2 seed.
Okay. Cheese versus Anth.
Gonna take Anth in a close one. It's gonna
Okay.
be low scoring.
All right.
And
Then wait, we
Hippopotamus.
missed. Hold on. We missed me versus Bill.
Jesus. Golfer's gonna win, but
Oh.
doesn't
that-
really matter.
Yeah, it does. That just ends Bill's season then
Well, Bill's season's over because Pook's going to win and outscore him.
by 5 points.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
All
Mhm.
right. So Pook is making it then. All right. That's 2 people now for Pook.
Uh-huh.
All right. And then for the bye, you said Zombie.
Yep, Zombie, and I'm going to get the
Okay.
2 seed and probably
Okay.
play. Who do I play? What's the 2 seed play?
The 7 seed.
Seven.
So you would play Pook. That would be great for you. I love that.
No,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
No.
Great decision there, Kroenke. Great job. Okay. All right. Now let's go over like I said, we're not going to spend too much time on Rat versus Ernie. The only thing this matters for is for Rat to potentially get some money because he's the only one that has not beaten Ernie this season. Ernie has Drake May on bye, so he's going to have to. Does he have another quarterback? All right. Ernie, if you do watch this, Ernie, after waivers go through tomorrow, you will need to pick up a quarterback and put him in your lineup to have a full starting lineup because you're not just going to throw and let Rat beat you to get some money. You do need to start a full fielding lineup. So after waivers, you can pick up a quarterback. If you don't pay attention to this, then I will have Kroenke message you later in the week. And when you do drop a player, you have to drop somebody off your bench. You do not drop somebody that might come back, like a Garrett Wilson. So you have to drop a bum. All right. I'm gonna just take Rat, just because it's Ernie and his team has not been good this year. Real quickly, everybody else, Zach, Rat versus Ernie.
Ernie's going out with a bang.
Okay.
2 wins in a row.
Zombie.
So Ernie is guaranteed the last place, right?
Yes.
And
And
is it just
Rat is the only one that has not beat him this year. So if Rat loses, then if Ernie does the $200 buyout instead of the punishment, everybody would get a portion of that money except Rat. If Rat wins this, then he joins everybody else in a portion of that money. That's all this matchup
Then-
comes down to.
I'm gonna go with Ernie to win because it's gonna be Roof. Need to say that to Red. They
Okay.
didn't beat him.
All right, then the next matchup that doesn't mean a whole lot besides seeding purposes and the bet between these two. Kroenke versus Zach. Obviously, with Zach losing last week and Kroenke winning, he now jumps him in the standings with Kroenke being 8-5 and Zach being 7-6. So as we said a bit ago, Zach for his bet with Kroenke has to beat him by the 60 points to catch up in points for and then have the same record at 8-6. So really, this is just for seeding purposes. As we said, Kroenke does have an outside shot at getting the bye. He would need Zombie to win, but then he would have to outscore Zombie by 60 points to catch him on points for, and that's how he would get the bye. Pretty much a long shot to happen. Other than that, this is just for seeding purposes. I'm going to take, let me see here, let me look at these lineups real quick. I'm going to say, does Lamar finally have a good game against Pittsburgh? I don't know. I'm going to say this is a week where Kroenke's team kind of busts and Zach's team does decent.
Yep.
I think the Buffalo-Cincy game has potential to be a sneaky shootout. So I'm going to say his stack does good, and I'm going to say Zach pulls off a victory, but he does not. He scores 135 points, but he does not. That's not enough to pass Kroenke on points for. Zach needs to score like 180 to have a chance to pass him on points for. And
I don't think
so.
that's
I think Kroenke wins the bet, but Zach wins this week. Zombie.
I want to see Kroenke lose because I think I'll play Zach in the playoffs on my side of the bracket.
Oh, okay. All right.
So I want Kroenke to fall to the bottom bracket.
All
Whoa.
right.
Go Zach.
That would be a heavy bottom side if you two are on that side. All right. Zach, are you getting this win by 60 points?
So if I lose, then I stay in the bracket with slaps and cheese?
No. If you
Well, if you lose and Anth wins,
if you lose, you're gonna fall to probably the 6th seed if Anth wins, which would put you down in the bottom half of the bracket.
Damn, so damned if I do. And
But
damned
there's
if I
also
don't.
potential Cheese could fall to the bottom side of the bracket. Well, actually, no. Probably the worst he's gonna fall is to 5, which would
I
keep him in the
will
top.
throw if I have to.
No, you winning probably keeps you in the top half of the bracket.
Zach, if you go to the bottom side of the bracket, you could play your boy Slaps.
I want to play Slaps and Cheese.
Yeah.
If
Whoa.
you
So
the
do I need
best
to
case
win or
scenario
lose to
for
do
you to play Cheese is you win and Cheese wins, because then
Yeah, you both stay at like
you'll
4 and
both
5.
well actually hold on because Slaps if you win I'm just saying so if you win you go to 9 and 6. Cheese would go to 9 and 6. So Zach, you want Zombie to win, Cheese to win, and you to win, because then you'll either play Slaps or Cheese.
Let's go. Let's go. Zombie, Cheese, and me, all winners this week.
All right. But are you going to catch Cronky by 60 points?
Yep, Cronky's gonna get about 70 points, and I'm gonna get like 150.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
All right. All right. We did miss my matchup with Bill. For Bill, this is a big one because he needs to win to have any chance to make the playoffs. He also needs to score a decent amount of points in his victory because he only has a 5-point advantage over Pook on points for. And with Tyler,
He's
is
down 39 points.
Yeah, he's about down 39, so he has a chance to also catch Tyler if somehow Tyler would win against Pook. So, so basically, the best option for Bill, the easiest option, is he beats me and he keeps his 5-point lead over Pook, and Pook beats Tyler. If Tyler beats Pook, then he has to worry about outscoring Tyler by the 39 points, which is a little more difficult. Still can be done, but is more difficult. That's why that loss last week kind of hurts Bill. Would have been a better situation if he just won last week, because then he would have been ahead of both of them, and just all he would have had to worry about is winning instead of the points for. So now he needs to have a good week and score a good amount of points. He has, though, some bye issues, as Cheese mentioned. He has Trevor Lawrence against the Colts, because Jackson Dart is on bye. Excuse me. He has Derrick Henry against Pittsburgh. Pretty decent matchup there for him, as Pittsburgh just gave up like 200 yards on the ground to Buffalo, so I'm sure Henry's going to have a good game. Gibbs on Thursday night against Dallas to get him started. That is a good matchup. Dallas defense playing a little better, but still gives up points and gives up plays.
What the fuck is this lineup?
He has Jordan Higgins against Kansas City. He had a decent game last week on Sunday night now for Houston against Kansas City. Big matchup there. Ibuka against the Saints. Pretty decent. Maybe a bounce back game for Ibuka as the Saints are bad. The Fannin guy against Tennessee. Who knows? Toss up. Chris Rodriguez against Minnesota. Minnesota not playing very well. And Chris Rodriguez was getting a little bit more run this past week. That's kind of just a toss-up, though. I don't know if I'd call him the new Bill, because Bill was never good to begin with. And then he's still deciding on his final flex, assuming he's picking up somebody, because Kittle's on bye, Hunter Henry's
Good
on
Lord.
bye, McMillan's on bye, Singletary's on bye, so all of his options are on bye, and I doubt he's going to go with the Dyke guy against Cleveland. So I'm assuming he's picking somebody off of waivers to put into that final flex spot. And then he also needs to pick up a kicker. So we'll see what he does there. So he definitely has some decisions to make, and we all know how Bill is with making lineup decisions. On my side, Josh Allen against Cincinnati, R.J. Harvey against the Raiders after his nice game last week, Jaylen Warren against Baltimore, Pickens tomorrow night, so we both have a Thursday night player against Detroit, who gives up a lot through the air. I like that spot. Zay Flowers looking for a bounce back against Pittsburgh. Hopefully Lamar can not look as bad. Zach Ertz against Minnesota after his nice game last week. Brian Thomas Jr., he'll get 5 points against the Colts, but don't really like the other options. Romeo Doubs against Chicago. Got a touchdown last week. That's a big game. Chicago versus Green Bay. And Bucker against Houston on Sunday night. I hope Bill beats me. I'm rooting for you, Bill, to get in. But your lineup is looking very shaky, and I think that loss last week is going to be too much for you to overcome. So I hope you beat me. I think I'm going to win, but maybe I'm wrong. Um, I just don't see how your lineup pops off too much, and you kind of need to pop off because you still got to worry about points for. So not a great week to have a lot of issues in your lineup when you need to score quite a bit of points. So I don't know, even if you do beat me, I don't know if you make it, but I don't even know if you're going to beat me. So, but good luck, Bill. I hope you somehow make it in. All right, Zach, who's winning this? Is Bill going to win and keep his hopes alive, or
We are gonna have a tie.
a tie? All right, that's not good for Bill. That would eliminate him.
Oh no, Bill.
Okay. All right, Zombie.
Um,
Does he get the win
I
first
just,
step? Does he get the
I just,
win? And then second step, does he score enough points?
I just gotta say, yikes, Bill.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence, Jaden Higgins, and Chris Rodriguez to save your season.
And then a third waiver wire guy, most likely, for his final flex spot.
Yikes. I think he should have roster managed better for
For week
the end of the
14?
season.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Traded away his 3 tight end sets for some play.
Yeah, well, they're all on bye this week. Kittle,
I
Henry.
think this is gonna cost him. I think
Okay.
not only is he gonna lose,
His loss
he's
last
not
week
gonna.
is what really hurt him, because there was still a chance if he scored a decent amount of points this week, he could have lost this week and still made it at 7-7. But losing last week in that low-scoring game when Slaps was beatable, that really hurt him. All right.
I think it's a loss, and well, not only a loss, but not a lot of points scored this week.
Okay. All right, fair enough. All right, then the last matchup that doesn't mean a whole lot, Cheese versus Anth. As we said, this is mainly for seeding purposes. The only way Anth misses is if he loses and scores like another like 70 or 80 points, and then Bill and Pook, or Bill and Tyler, or Bill and Pook, or Pook and Tyler. They all score a lot of points to catch up over Anth, and the two 7-7s overtake Anth on points for, which they're down about 60 right now. So pretty unlikely that Anth loses out on points for, but still in the slight realm of possibility. Right now, Sleeper does like Anth by a lot. He's got Mahomes against Houston, James Cook against Cincinnati, Etienne looking for a bounce back game against the Colts, who's been kind of reeling. DK Metcalf against Baltimore looking for a bounce back. Pittman versus Jacksonville also looking for a bounce back. Johnson against Tampa Bay. Kenneth Gainwell against Baltimore. London against Seattle. And Boswell against Baltimore. We'll see if London plays. He has a chance to play this week. Cheese got his Bears guys against Green Bay. Don't love those matchups with McCaffrey on bye. Jacoby Myers against the Colts. Sutton against the Raiders is halfway decent. Ferguson against Detroit on Thursday to get him started. Pierce against Jacksonville after his nice game last week. Woody Marks against Kansas City. Don't love that. And McManus against Chicago, but he's got bye problems as well. Maybe he starts Bam Knight if Benson still doesn't come back. That's an option for him off the bench. I'm going to take Anth to get this win. I think it's going to be a lower scoring matchup, like 110 to 100, but I think Anth pulls out the victory just because she's got a lot of bye issues, and I don't love the three trio Bears players against Green Bay in Green Bay this week. I think that's going to be a tough game for them. Zach, who's winning between Anth and Cheese?
Hopefully Cheese, so I can see him next week.
Okay. All right. Zombie?
You know, at first I thought this was an easy win for Anth, but if Drake London doesn't play, this might be close.
Okay, yeah. You would
Uh,
have to go to either Cup, Mechie, Lockett, or Coleman. So, yeah, unless Kamara's back. What are
so I will say, if Drake London doesn't play, I got Cheese winning.
Okay. All right.
But if he does play, Cheese is getting raped.
Oh, okay. That big of a difference. All right. All right, and then we get into the two mega matchups of the final week of the regular season, one to determine the bye and one to determine the last playoff spot most likely. However, Bill does still factor in there. But we have Pook versus Tyler, the battle of 6 and 7s. One of them is guaranteed to get to 7 and 7. The other one is going to be eliminated. So huge matchup here for your playoff lives. Pook has made this incredible run these last 5 weeks to get himself to this position. Can he finish it off with a victory over Tyler and outscore Bill by 5 points to get over Bill, unless Bill also loses to me? So I'm sure Pook will be rooting for me to get the job done. That way, all he has to do is beat Tyler to get it. And it wouldn't matter about the points for, even though it is only 5 points, which is not much to overcome. Right now, Sleeper does like Pook slightly, 114 to 103, but it is a low-scoring thing, and Tyler has some lineup decisions to make with Purdy on bye. Pook has Dak Prescott against Detroit to get him started on Thursday. I do like that matchup. Prescott is playing hot. That matchup, there hasn't been too many great Thursday night games. This has potential to be one, as both of these teams' backs are against the wall. It's fitting that, this matchup, Pook versus Tyler, is similar to the Detroit versus Dallas game where their backs are against the wall. The loser is probably done for the playoffs, have very slim chances. The winner has a chance still to make the playoffs. So just a massive game on Thursday. Breece Hall against Miami, also pretty good. Matchup for Breece Hall there. Zach Charbonnet against Atlanta. Jalen Waddle against the Jets, kind of like that for a bounce back from Waddle, as he didn't have a good week last week. Shakir against Cincinnati could also be a bounce back. I have a feeling that will be a sneaky shootout game between those two. Bowers against Denver, tougher matchup, but Bowers should still be able to get double digits. Mooney against Seattle. Obviously, if Drake London comes back, as we talked about, then that kind of hurts Mooney, and Seattle's defense is very good. Kareem Hunt on Sunday night against Houston, and McPherson against Buffalo. He also does have, obviously, Henderson and Diggs are on bye, so that hurts Pook quite a bit. So he doesn't have as many options on the bench as he would like. On Tyler's side, we'll see what he does at quarterback. There is maybe a slim chance that Jaden Daniels, what's this thing? Not cleared for contact. Still decision on week 14 delay. Doesn't sound great for Jaden Daniels coming back this week.
He's gonna play.
He's gonna play. Okay, well Tyler probably
He'll
hopes
play.
so, because he needs them with Purdy on bye. We'll see what Tyler picks up.
He's not gonna play.
Daniels doesn't play. I'm assuming he'll go back to old reliable Marcus Mariota, who had a good game last week. We'll also see if Pook, picks up some quarterbacks to try to, go all out. That's definitely in the realm of Pook's possibility to go all out and pick up some quarterbacks to try to stop Tyler from getting an option. It would not surprise me one bit. You got to go all out against your opponent in this type of matchup, do or die. Bucky Irving against the Saints, Kenneth Walker against Atlanta, Trey Tucker against Denver, Puka Nacua against Arizona. I like a bounce back game from Puka. He could have a good game. Travis Kelce on Sunday night against Houston. Houston, very tough defense. Chris Olave against Tampa Bay could be decent. Keenan Allen on Monday night, so he does have a Monday night player against Philly, though. Very tough matchup for the Chargers. I don't love that spot for Keenan Allen. And Cam Little against the Colts. We'll see Wandell on a bye, so he doesn't have him. He does have DJ Moore on the bench and Goddard as options. So we'll see what Tyler does. He does have some lineup decisions to make. Tyler usually waits till kind of after waivers to do his decisions, and we'll see if that hurts him if Pook, capitalizes on that and maybe steals some players that Tyler maybe would be thinking of picking up. If I'm Pook, I'm definitely picking up Marcus Mariota because that's who fucking Tyler has gone after every week. And he just played a pretty good game against Denver, so I'd definitely be trying to steal him from him if I was Pook, but we'll see what they do. I'm going to take Pook. I think his lineup's in a much better spot, even though he does have the Patriot buys. I think he overcomes it, and I think he gets the win over Tyler and gets enough points and also makes it in. I'm the third person. I think that Kroenke and Cheese both thought the same thing. And I think he's a team that you don't really want to play in the playoffs because he's been on fire lately and could just go on a run. Zach, who's winning between Pook and Tyler?
Tyler, let's go. Save the league, buddy. We don't want Pook winning.
Okay. All right. Zombie? You've been riding Pook's cock for the last 5 weeks.
Ago, a month ago when Pook was at the bottom of the
Yep.
standings.
Yeah, you were
No
riding his
one
cock.
believed in him.
Yeah,
No
except
one
you.
believed him. And then he
Except
won
for
that
you.
first game,
Uh-huh.
and I said
And you
Pook
hopped
was
on and
back.
rode it.
And
Yeah,
everyone
all
said I
you
was
do
dick
is
riding.
suck him
Uh-huh.
off.
But I'm never wrong. I'm just early.
Mm.
So I'm gonna go with my boy Pook again
Oh
Alright.
to
my
make the
man.
playoffs.
Slob on that
Oh,
knob. All right.
Glug,
Why
glug,
stop
glug.
now? Um, all right. So you think he wins and you think he outscores Bill? Well, I think you said Bill was going to lose to me anyway. So,
Yeah.
all right. Okay. All right. And
And that
then
means we get wait. That means we get slaps versus Pook round one.
uh, no, it would
2
be
versus 7.
no slaps wouldn't be two if Cronky wins. Cronky would get the 2 seed.
Ooh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Pusa versus
Yeah,
Pook.
that's the matchup I want for a bet with Cronky to win it all. I think Pook could take him down. Yeah, that's what I'm rooting for. All right. And then the final matchup of the week, and obviously it all comes down to this for the number 1 seed in the bye. Like we said, there is a slim chance of Cronky getting the bye, but it's pretty unrealistic as he'd have to outscore Zombie by 60 points and have Zombie win against Slaps and him win against Zach. It's pretty unlikely that he outscores Zombie's team by that much points, but so all intents purposes, this is for the bye. If Zombie beats Slaps, he gets the bye. If Slaps beats Zombie, Slaps keeps this top spot. Pretty big for Slaps to try to get that bye as his team's reeling a little bit these last few weeks. But he's in position. Right now, Sleeper does give Zombie the edge, 128 to 116. Zombie has Jared Goff in there against Dallas on Thursday night. Interesting choice there. I do think that has the potential to be a really good shootout type game. So don't hate it. Although Dallas's defense lately has been getting some pressure, and Jared Goff has not looked great under pressure. So we'll see. Excuse me. Achain against the Jets. Pretty good matchup there for Achain. He should do his normal thing. Juggernaut Javante as well against Thursday, so he's got two big Thursday night players against Detroit. Rome Odunze back in the lineup against Green Bay. Rashee Rice against Houston. Tough defense for Rice. We'll see how he performs. Tyler Warren against Jacksonville on Sunday. Chris Godwin in there against the Saints. Interesting choice there. And then Michael Wilson, who came back down to earth this week with Marvin Harrison back against the Rams. And Myers against Atlanta. Interesting choices there. Not obviously taking the chance with Herbert against Philly with his injury. And then St. Brown not looking like he's going to play. And you're benching your boy Gatson, huh? Interesting. On Slaps' side, he has Jalen Hurts on Monday night against Zombies Chargers. Oh boy. hopefully the matchup comes down to Monday night with Hurts against Zombies Chargers for the bye. That would be great. Hopefully that happens. Josh Jacobs against Chicago. Kyron Williams against Arizona, assuming if he plays. Does he have Corum? He does have Corum, so worst case he puts Corum in there. Devontae Adams against Arizona. We talked about him earlier. He should do pretty decent. Fat Diarrhea against Minnesota. Not a bad matchup for him. Darren Waller against the Jets. Josh Downs in there against Jacksonville, really. He doesn't have anybody else, so Jennings is on bye. That's why that hurts. He does have
Oh
Neil
no.
Shivas against Buffalo, but Troy Franklin against the Raiders. He needs Franklin to have a big bounce back game against the Raiders. And then Fairbairn against the Chiefs. You know, on the flexes, Slaps has some shaky flexes, but Zombie with the Michael Wilson thing, you know, he came back down to earth now that Marv's back, so that's a little shaky.
Oh, your
Godwin,
boy Marv got hurt. He
Godwin's
might
just
not
been
play.
okay. I don't know. I don't think this is a shoe-in for Zombie like I kind of thought originally. I do think it's going to be a close matchup. I do think it's going to come down to Monday night. I think the real key is how big of a lead does Zombie get on Thursday night. If Juggernaut Williams has 17 and Goff puts up a 20 spot, then I think he will win. But If he doesn't, and then it kind of becomes a Sunday, and then it comes down to Monday night with Hurts, I think Hurts could have a good game against the Chargers. I mean, the Eagles have to show some fight after losing 2 in a row. So if it gets to that point, then I think Slaps wins it, but I kind of think this Dallas game is going to be a shootout, and I think Zombie is going to pull it out because of that matchup. It's too good, Dallas versus Detroit, with everything on the line. So I'm going to take Zombie in a close, higher scoring matchup. I don't think Slaps' team is as bad as you think. All right, Zach, who's winning this and getting the bye?
Zombie has to win for me.
Yep, to push
Let's go,
Slaps down.
Zombie. Come on, Zombie.
Okay. All right, Zombie, are you've been proclaiming all season that you'll get that bye and you'll catch Slaps? This is your opportunity. Are you going to come through?
Yes, we will be breaking Slaps' heart. All he's ever wanted was that one bye. Prove that he's a good fantasy player. But he's not, because he's going to fucking choke again this week.
Okay.
And your boy Maserati Marv is hurt again, so my boy Wilson will become good again.
Okay.
And the lineup is not fully set. If my boy Hampton plays, I might put him in.
Okay. All
But
right.
yeah, even without
No St. Brown, you're still going to get it done?
we're still gonna get it done.
Are you worried at all that
That's
could
why
hinder your playoff run if he's not healthy?
No, that's why we're getting this bye, so that my boy Sun God has
Now that would be
time to
big for you.
rest. Time to rest it up for week 15
Okay.
or week 16.
All right. Yeah, that would be big for you. You probably would be back by then. All right. So there we have it. Good luck to everybody in Week 14. Just a quick reminder, make sure everyone you start your full lineups, even if you have some holes. Like I said, in that Ernie Rat matchup, Ernie, if you watch this, make sure you pick up a quarterback after waivers goes through. That way you have a full starting lineup against Rat. Good luck to everybody. We will catch you back here next week to break it all down and see who's made the playoffs and go over the playoff matchups.